a mess, I guess. Hello? I did not start the game yet because the game is always so loud for some reason when I start games. So here we go, it's a game. Dating sim continues. This one's about magic. Yeah. What about? Whoa. A low setting for sound that's actually low. That's insane. Oh, you could do like half a cup. Well, that's too low. Maybe right here. Seems good. Text speed, faster, please. Auto time. I don't know what that means. Sound effects. I'm kind of worried about that. Full screen. Looks beautiful. I don't know that joke, Ewok, so I don't think so, but maybe. Actually, I'm going with no, because if I don't know it, then they don't know it. Unless you mean it's something like I put on my robe and wizard hat like everyone else or something like that, but I don't know. Maybe. I think I only read the first sentence, which is that someone graduated high school and then something happened, and that's all I know about this game. What is your name? They call me Hart. Pronouns. I don't care. Oh, I guess this one though. Yeah. Return? Does that mean enter? Oh, apparently so. Oh, I'm powering up. Wait, what are all these buttons? Oh. Save, options. I let out a freeing yawn. Oh, that was supposed to be a yawn. Whoops. As I leaped out for the bus onto the pavement below, bags in hand. Finally made it. Drinking in the familiar surroundings, I take a moment to execute some quick squats. Why would I do squats? The brisk stretcher size is exactly what my compressed muscles ordered, all stiff from the several hour long bus ride from the city to the sea. Okay, so it makes sense, I guess, that I stretched. Every time I ask the question, something makes sense. So I'm gonna stop asking the question and I'm gonna wait for the explanation. I wonder if this is how Jack in the Boxes feel when they pop out. That's a good question. Newly energized, I extend my arms to the tropical sun as if to pluck it from the sky and take in a greedy lungful of delicious sea air. As always, the warm climate here on the coast feels as though it's welcoming back home, back to the place where I belong. I miss this, all of it, and ahead of me is a summer-long period of peace and respite. I just graduated high school. See, I called it. And from now on, there will be no parents, teachers, or peers reminding me with every breath that I'm waiting to the end of my teenage years with no direction, just the sun, the sea, and this place. My destination, the tranquil seaside town of Linsdale. Nestled in a quiet crescent-shaped... Oh my gosh. This is definitely like a writer or literary person, because I don't think visual novels are this verbose normally. Nestled in a quiet, crescent-shaped cove on the coast and licked by the starry, deep blue water waves of the East Sea, some people have taken to affectionately nicknaming it Moon Bay. A pretty occultic name, all things considered, but it always seemed perfectly apt because it's also the town my grandmother, my Baba, calls home, and she just so happens to be an exceptional and absolutely eccentric witch. All these years later, and I still wouldn't put it past her to have coined Moonbay herself, just because it might help drum up business among the magic folk. For the first time in 3 years, she'd asked me to visit this summer, and I can't wait to resume my magic training. Magic training! My fingers, electrified, are already tingling at the prospect. I reach into the pocket of my hoodie, feeling for the letter she'd sent me, making sure it's still there. Cursive on vellum and a wax seal. Wow, okay, that's old school. Nobody except the wily old woman would write like this anymore. There's no time like the present. Unable to hide my eagerness to see her again, I hoist my bags up to my shoulder and take off at a sprint up the staircase, leaving the bus stop far behind. And once I leap across the threshold of the stairway's end, I see the sight I've longed for and open my lungs wide. Hello, coffee curiosities. Oh, okay, it's a restaurant or a cafe. My grandmother's cafe stands before me, a static monument among the other buildings, utterly unchanged, like a moment in time, perfectly preserved the way I always remembered it. It reminds me of my childhood, of iced tea in summer, sea salt ice cream, and freer days spent under Baba's tutelage. That in itself is a rare kind of magic that leaves me spellbound. Naturally, my peppy cry draws the attention of several passerby outside the store, many of whom recognize me and wave in greeting. Oh, that's weird. This must be a small town. Well, I'll be, if it isn't Hart. Been a spell since you've been back. Still kept that strange habit of greeting the cafe like it's a person I see. Oh, that was a woman. Well, she's not wrong. I guess I'm a little old to be shouting in public. But as Baba used to say, a witch breathes magic and life into all things. Every word is a charm, every sentence a spell. Now that I think about it, it's totally possible she was just hoodwinking an extremely gullible 5-year-old. But, well, what if she didn't know magic? What if there was no magic in this game? It's a cute tradition, so who cares? I wave energetically back. Hey, it's great to see you again. Do you know what my grandmother's about? The question seems to give her pause, and she forces a smile which can only be read as guilty embarrassment. Oh, you mean she... well, I'm not too sure. Haven't been in for a coffee for a while, you see. Anyway, nice seeing you, kid. Wait, why? What? Before I have a chance to respond, she scuttles off over the hill, leaving me stranded in confusion at the shop door. What in the hemlock was all that about? Glancing over the cafe again, my eyes narrow suspiciously and roam up and down the building. I finally notice one extremely telling clue. It's the height of morning, and yet the curtains are shut tight. Fishier still is how quiet it is. Well, that's weird. Grandmama, why is the shop closed? I practically kick the door down in my provoked state, and once inside, all my suspicions are confirmed. Not only are the lights all switched off, not only are there no customers, not only has the door clearly been left unlocked with complete disregard to nasty draughts, thieves, or trespassers, but on top of that, Baba is nowhere to be found. A mystery! The lingering mingled fragrance of sweet teas and bitter coffees temporarily catches me off guard, filling my nose and mind with happy memories, but I quickly remember why I'm here. I stomp across the cafe floor in big strides, making a beeline for the door at the far end of the room, a door hidden behind a heavy satin curtain and bewitched to be invisible to all non-magic customers. What? Baba? Okay, well, clearly she knows magic if she can hide a door. I stop dead in my tracks. In the secret room, piled floor to ceiling with mystical objects, is Baba's crystal ball table. A table radiating with memories of afternoons sitting in her lap, poring over dusty tomes and having the wonders of magic whispered in my ear. And now on that table, clearly waiting my arrival, is a small paper ornament. An enchanted letter folded into the shape of a miniature rabbit. Ugh. I wish I could make letters into animals. Or email, I guess. I wish I could make an email into an animal. When I enter the room, it turns its ears up and bounds its It turns up its ears and bounds from its slumber, hopping to the table's edge to greet me. I would recognize this magic anywhere. Baba would while away hours folding these critters for me as I studied, until she had gifted me the entire animal kingdom out of paper. That's impossible. It never failed to put a smile on my face. Do you know how many animals there are in the animal kingdom? At least 100. Which can only mean she's buttering me up for some unsavory news. I skeptically scoop up the paper rabbit in my hand, and at the touch of my finger upon its nose, it unravels itself. Sure enough, my grandmother has inked a note in cursive inside. My dearest heart. That's me. I've run away. Okay. Grandmama, please. Since I was the one who invited you to stay with me this summer, I'll venture that this will come as a shock to you. It wasn't part of my plan, but running the cafe was beginning to feel rather droll. Oh my gosh. Then I remembered it's mugwort season, and also the witch folk are hosting a mushroom picking festival in the mountains. Much less droll by far. Do not come searching for me. Write to me, though, if you want me to bring you back some mugwort. Otherwise, I shall bring you nothing. Take care of the place while I'm gone. P.S. I hope you have money. The pantry's empty. Oh my gosh. So, I feel like wizards and literature and junk, like, it's so easy to be irresponsible. You know, I got magic, whatever. I'm just gonna be irresponsible, and I'm not, like, my business doesn't matter. It's not what sustains me. I could just magic, my way out of any issues. That wayward old witch. Slumping onto one of the table's squishy cushions, I throw my arms up in defeat. Jeez. I absolutely should have expected this, flying through life by the seat of her pants, living by her every whim, dropping things when they no longer suit her. Okay, that sounds familiar. This entire situation reaches into the far recesses of my mind, conjuring up echoes of countless other past examples of how mercurial Baba could be. Closing up at noon to go skinny dipping in the ocean, hosting a luau party, then passing out after an hour on her own deadly magic punch. Gross. Her crimes of capriciousness knew no bounds. She may have taught me everything I know of magic, but early on I had to master brewing tea and coffee, not just potions, to keep this place running smoothly. Oh, so, okay. It suddenly dawns on me exactly why that passerby acted so suspiciously. I bet she cut and run days ago and told everyone in town not to breathe a word. Okay. Sounds right. No matter how you cut it, she's just running from her responsibilities again. I seriously have no clue how she managed to keep this place running all those years. My lips pressed themselves into a thin, stubborn line. Oh, I look unhappy. Mugwort tea is my favorite, though. I guess it's time to go shopping. An hour or so later, I've made begrudging progress on the cafe's sorry state. With the door now locked and the curtains still tightly drawn, I make use of the privacy by enchanting Baba's dustpan and broom and setting them to work on the floor. They whiz about the room in a waltz, making quick work of any dust or grime in their path. After a brief inspection, all that remains in the fridge is a curdled bottle of milk. Gross. The pantry cupboards had also been harboring nothing but dust, but were saved earlier by a trip to the local supermarket. Okay, hold on. How could the milk be curdled if she left days ago? Like, yeah, sure. A couple weeks maybe might curdle some milk in a fridge, but, like, you would think it was fresh when she was serving it. Rest in peace, wallet. Luckily, it also seems the cafe's more expensive wares are in plentiful stock. So apparently I have a job somewhere that I have left in order to go on vacation to hang out and do magic. Because I have money. Or maybe I have a trust or something. The exotic plethora of tea leaves and unground coffee beans have been safely stored in bags or dry containers. The siphons, mills, and other apparatus, too, are in good working order. Knowing Baba's devil-may-care attitude, the situation here could have been far worse. I should count my blessings. She didn't let any rats inside those sacks? What? That moment, as if my words had personally offended her efforts, Baba's cat slinks into the room and onto the counter to glare at me. There you are, Hannibal, a witch's familiar reduced to a rat catcher. How the mighty fall in the wrong hands. But since you don't have anything better to do, if you see any about, let me know. When I reach across the counter to scritch beneath her neck, she forgets her grumpiness in a heartbeat and pads off to the bedroom for an afternoon nap. Cool. With the dustpan and broom soon done with their work, I thank them for their service and quickly finish putting the cupboards in order. After a satisfying stretch, okay, apparently I stretched a lot, I pull back the curtains to survey the place triumphantly. Watch out, Linsdale, we're back in business. Standing there with hands on hips, it's a funny feeling that courses through my chest, a kind of liberation and pride that comes from being free to wantonly spellcast for the first time in a painfully long while. I missed it even more than I thought I would. Not too rusty though, thankfully. Now then, the last port of call is to flip that sign, and after that, time to brew some criminally delicious coffee. As soon as I step outside, I pause. Wait, I thought I came here to like hang and relax. Why am I working? Do I need to work? Do I need this money? Like, I thought the pantry was just empty, you know, for me. My senses are once more splashed by the salty air, the sun's warmth, and the far-off songs of a soaring flock of seagulls. And in my line of sight, the sea itself, a shimmering crystal blue expanse calling me back to its edge. I've worked pretty hard, if I do say so myself. A little stretch of the legs beforehand couldn't hurt. And so, with slow, meandering strides, I cross the pavement and pace down the small stone staircase, heading for the beachfront. Okay, perfect. I didn't want to work anyway. I take my time, enjoying the afternoon breeze and the journey all the way to the boardwalk and beyond. When I reach the beach edge, I slide off my shoes and press on, free and barefoot in the sand. It softly envelops my feet as I walk like a floor made of satin. The waves, too, are like rolls of crystalline satin sheets. Waves are real loud, it feels like. Being unraveled onto the shore, rolling over rocks, shells, and themselves, and gently slipping back to their source. As ever, Moon Bay, you are almost too perfect for words. I plop myself down in the sand, stretching out my legs and searching along the water surface for something. I wonder if she's still out there. Who? But before I can continue that thought, the phone in my back pocket hums, and when I retrieve it, I see several texts from my parents. Their messages cascade simultaneously into the group chat, making it plainly obvious they're both sitting beside each other, typing with a joint agenda. Okay. Did you arrive safely? You forgot to text us. We were worried. How's Baba? Is she doing well? How's her back? And there it is. I sigh, typing back my regular response whenever they awkwardly attempt to bring her up. If you're that worried, you could always try talking to her yourself. I'm sure she'd like to hear from you. Oof. After a brief exchange ending in I love yous all around, I fling my phone to the side. Okay, I thought it was going to go into the ocean. I was really worried. And fall back onto the sand bed. The history between my parents and Baba was fractured, to say the least. In this world where so few people are gifted with the ability to wield magic, we hide what we are for an easier life. Hundreds of years ago, okay, it's a magic thing, okay. Hundreds of years ago, those without the gift feared us, persecuted us, and worse. The world was messy. The witch folk decided almost unanimously that it was better to fade into anonymity than cause trouble. Nowadays, as far as the rest of normal society is concerned, it's known that we exist out there somewhere, but rarely do you see a witch shouting it from the rooftops. Despite the good I know we do, there's no glory in it at all. So as for my parents and Baba, well, Baba Baba had always been an immensely talented witch. The first time I was sent here to stay with her for the summer, I was 3. Okay, dope. She showed me a few simple spells, and even though I could barely speak, I was a natural. I still remember her sweeping me up when I successfully levitated a paperclip. She was so giddy, it was impossible for her to contain herself. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to do some magic right now and levitate this die. Alright, no luck. I don't have the magic. My parents were different. They never taught me magic, never encouraged me to learn it. All they wished for me was an utterly normal life. They asked Baba to stop teaching me, and that was that, or so they thought. When they found out I'd flown in the face of their disapproval and had secretly been studying hard under Baba every summer for 10 years, how did they not know? Like, you have to know. I remember that day. Dad's face went a shade of blue I didn't think was possible outside of being hexed. After that, their relationship became strained. They stopped talking. I became their mediator. Their owl ferrying messages back and forth. Oh, okay. I stopped visiting Linsdale for a while to give them all time to cool off. Weird. A normal life, a boring life, devoid of magic. I feel empty just at the thought of it, but honestly, I don't really have the first clue about what I want to do in the future. If only witch folk didn't have to hide who we are. As I raise myself back up to hug my knees, I realize that I've been absent-mindedly dragging a finger through the sand all this time. I've drawn nothing remotely artistic, of course, just a bunch of badly drawn swirls that barely resemble shapes at all. These are almost as terrible as Kia's. Oh no. A spark ignites a recollection in my mind, a spark which sends me flying back to before I'd been interrupted by my parents' messages, back to thoughts of a friend from long ago. My eyes meet the sea again. Kia's home, my childhood friend who had been as much a part of my summers in Linsdale as my grandmother. She was an extraordinary person and, oh right, a mermaid who befriended a witch. A mermaid? Yo, that's what's up. Shy and a little fumbling in the beginning, she barely grasped human language. Kia... What do you want, cat? Food. It's always food. Kia was about the only sound she could make. Oh. We'd communicate by drawing shapes in the sand, and although hers were terrible, I got pretty good at deciphering them. I could still clearly remember our first meeting here on the shore. I was 5. What? Mom and Dad had just asked Baba to stop teaching me magic, and I was wailing into the ocean at the top of my lungs. And it was only once my tears had dried up that I noticed a curious baby mermaid who'd snuck away from home to investigate the surface, was peering at me through the waves. As I reminisce, a smile spreads across my face. Ah, Kia. That's right. I wonder if she and her family even still swim in these waters. With renewed purpose, I leap up and dust myself off. I tread up and down the beach, scanning the waves for any sign of movement, but unsurprisingly, I don't find a trace of her anywhere. There isn't a fin in sight. Yeah, how are you gonna find a mermaid? Like, you can't call them, right? I guess you magic them or something. That'll teach me for being willfully optimistic, as if mermaids would ever venture this close to shore, they'd be found out in a heartbeat. Still, I haven't exhausted all the tricks up my sleeve. Determined, I set off up and down the beach once again, this time with my eyes to the sand, scouring the golden floor for a very particular object. And finally, wedged between some barnacled rocks, I find exactly what I'm looking for, a prismatic conch. Shimmering and weighty to the touch. And more importantly, in the hands of a witch, it's a horn that when blown can sing a song only a mermaid could hear. What? So you can call a mermaid. It was an ancient spell that Baba had taught me as a child, used by the old witches in times of strife to call mermaids to their aid. Gondor calls for aid. And then it's like mermaids. Together, Kia and I had repurposed it. Since the day we met, it had been my way of communicating to her, I'm here, I want to see you. I suppose there's only one way to find out if she's still there listening for me. As a precaution, I spin about, checking for onlookers. But this corner of the beach is deserted. Reaching into the recesses of my mind for the ancient spell, I pluck out its melody, note by note, and whisper my request to the shell at my fingertips. So it's like, Link in any of the games, I guess, where he plays the ocarina. White of the waves, my bottomless heart be, an ocean of love built just for thee. And if thou art astray in faraway foam, the song of my sea will call you home. Is the conch? I think it's conch. It might be conch. I'm not really sure. I think a lot of people say it differently. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. Hopefully I'll never have to say it again. Begins to gleam. I gather my breath and blow gently into its tip. Fui. 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 No matter how many times I call, Kia doesn't appear. The waves simply keep rolling over the sand at my feet, slowly soaking in and causing me to sink. So she left in search of somewhere better after all. No Baba, no Kia. This was truly shaping up to be a pretty miserable summer, and the pang of pain I feel in my chest is sudden but not unexpected. 3 years ago, when I said goodbye and left Linsdale, I didn't know it would be the last time. I didn't get the chance to tell her. Somewhat sad, my shoulders droop a little. She always was so timid and unsure of herself. Is this an actual game? I haven't selected anything. It's got multiple endings, so yeah, okay. I wonder if she waited every summer for me to come back. And I never did. I mean, it's been, what, 3 years? Come on, every summer. But never one to let sadness get the better of me for long. I clap my cheeks. Okay. Hold on. At the very least, I know that right now what I could do is see her off with a smile. I'm sorry, Kia, but I hope wherever you are, you're swimming happy. And that your drawings don't suck. After exhaling my feelings cathartically into the afternoon air, I turn heel and head back towards the stairs. It's time to open the cafe for the evening. But as my head swims with thoughts of coffee beans, recipes, and measurements, I forget to check for obstacles in my path, and before I know it, I collide with someone else. Yo, what's up? Oh, I'm so sorry. Please excuse... The bump had successfully knocked me down a stair or two, but as I shake off the pain, her eyes meet mine. Her golden irises, her amethyst hair... Wait, amethyst? Everything about her is dazzling, and it temporarily catches me off guard. I'm grateful she seems unharmed. I run my fingers through my hair, somewhat embarrassed. Not at all, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention either. Are you okay? Yeah. Her voice quickly trails off, but she continues to stare at me with great intensity, looking me up and down with wide eyes. That's right, the cafe. I don't have time to be wasting here. I literally do have the time. I flash her a polite smile and, shooting back up the hill, excuse myself. I'm sorry again. Have a nice evening. Bye. I don't know. Wait, why did I run back? Like, if I walk down to the beach, it doesn't seem like it took that long. Large leaping strides bring me back to the cusp of the hill in record time, with the afternoon sky already fading into an orange glow. Evening is practically here. I have no concrete grasp of how long Baba's Cafe has been closed since she cut and run, but there's one thing I know for certain, and that's that I don't want to keep the Linsdale patrons waiting any longer. It's funny. If I let slip that Baba's irresponsibleness is what put me into this mess in the first place, I'm actually excited. Wait, what? This sentence feels weird. Rushing about, serving special blends, putting smiles on customers' faces. It was difficult at first, but maybe I grew to love it. Positive vibes, heart. Maybe this will be a good summer after all. With renewed energy, I began to mentally roll up my sleeves. I don't know. Hey, it's summer. Let's go work. Whoa. Just as soon as I round the corner, an unpleasant sight makes my newly buoyed mood sink faster than a stone anchor. Directly outside the cafe, pulled unceremoniously up onto the curb, is a garish red sports car. It's brand new and clearly far too expensive to belong to any resident in Linsdale. Are you serious? What sort of self-centered idiot parks their car square in front of a shop entrance? Already ticked off, I watch as an elderly man with a cane struggles to shuffle through the gap in the pavement, grasping at the cafe wall for support. I hope this is someone trying to date Baba and not someone trying to buy the land. He gets his revenge as he passes by, though, flipping the bird to the car's tinted window as he goes. Oh, okay. This was just an old man walking. If I had any doubts that this gaudy ride would spell trouble, they're blown away as soon as the driver steps outside. A tall blonde fop in sunglasses and a jean jacket slams the door behind himself, yawning loudly. Leaning back lazily into the car roof, he slips his sunglasses up to his hairline, clicks his tongue at the elderly man's back. I'm about to storm up and give him a piece of my mind when he pulls out his phone, the latest model, and begins snapping up landscape shots of the cafe. Aha, see? I called it. Can I help you, bro? Sliding his free hand casually into his back pocket, he turns to flash me a smile. It's so not cute. Okay, well, it sounds like it might be. Are you the owner? Why would he think that? The door's shut and I came from down the street. I square at my shoulders as much as humanly possible, arms folded crossly. Yes, I am. Name's Hart, and I don't appreciate you blocking my door. He cockily raises an eyebrow and looks around at the now very empty street. He pulls down his sunglasses once or twice in a mocking motion. Huh, well, how about that? I guess my prescription's wrong because I don't see a single soul sniffing around. Looks like what you have here is a bona fide dead spot. You better not be insulting my cafe, bruh. Another condescending smile slowly stretches across his face. He's clearly looking down on me and doesn't care to provide any kind of answer. He just continues on, ignoring my question. Not an insult per se, as it so happens, this is exactly the sort of place I'm looking for. With a twinkle in his eye, he straightens up and spins his phone into both hands. His whole demeanor changes as he begins typing on the screen with lightning speed. What's your specialty here? Cafe Cubano, Chinese teas, matcha? You do serve something other than salty tap water, I assume. Yep. There's a bottle of rancid milk in the fridge with your name on it, dude. Yeah, all those things. We aren't some backwater cafe that only serves standard drip swill. So you run this place with someone else? Yeah, dude. My grandmother, she's not here. What's this place called? Are you freaking kidding me? Look at the sign, poster boy. I sighed loudly and dramatically. Coffee Curiosities. His fingers pause their tapping for a moment. He takes the time to raise a smug eyebrow at me. Right, bravo. No, really, it's inspired. A little desperate and only slightly nauseating. He stands up straight and takes one more large, gulping glance at the cafe's facade. Then he flips his phone and snaps a headshot of my startled face. There's no way this is one of the love interests. Like, no way. It's a perfect blend of material for my blog that is, oh, he's a writer. Oh. He gives me a look that's equal parts smug and pitying. It's perhaps the most punchable expression I've ever seen. You have no idea who I am, do you? No, bro, no. Now that I get a really good look at him, he actually does look somewhat familiar. Guy Fieri? Here, a souvenir. Don't bend it. It's premium embossed. With a wink, he slips me a business card into my hand. Fancy gold script spells out cuisine blogger and the name Mikhail. Thanks. I guess I'll use it when I run out of toilet paper. Ooh. I snap the card from his fingers, making sure to look thoroughly unimpressed as I do. His smarmy veneer cracks just a little at that. Charmed, I'm sure. Now then, let's hope your coffee wildly lives up to my expectations, shall we? I can feel my blood boiling. The way that smirk plays at the edge of his mouth, it's perfectly obvious what his expectations are. Though I still can't place his face, I've read about bloggers just like him. Vindictive types traipsing around the country, targeting coffee shops with small customer bases, searching for the worst of the worst for their scathing reviews, like sharks feasting on krill. I don't know if sharks eat krill. Well, I guess a whale shark eats krill, but I'm pretty sure that's a whale, not a shark, despite the name having both. Anyway, unimportant. For a second time, I slide my gaze grimly over his red sports car with its ostentatious wheels, shiny mirrors, and waxed gleam. I suppose when you're scum on the surface of the industry, it doesn't matter if you destroy businesses wherever you go, as long as those clicks keep coming. Well, he's not gonna drag Baba's Cafe through the mud on my watch. So, here I am in the flesh, your only paying customer, and all that. I drove 2 hours from the city to find this place. Aren't you going to let me in? Oh, man. I stride up to the door and start to unlock it, but inwardly, that boiling blood is starting to boil over. I'm in no mood to play nice. In fact, just for the audacity of coming here and trying to mess with a witch's business, I'm perfectly happy to play just a little dirty, with the help of some magic. Oh, yeah. Slipping my hand inconspicuously behind my back, I start to weave a spell in the air. I step towards him, all the while a sweet smile plastered on my face. Sure, I don't have a problem with that. You're welcome to try my coffee. Quickest way to get you off my property. But you might not want to step inside just yet because... prank him with magic or distract him with magic? I'll just distract him, that's fine. A seagull just stole your phone. What? He pivots on his heels to see the gigantic seabird that is now squatting on the roof of his car, phone in beak. I'm pleased to see that after being summoned, it took time to excrete on the car before it landed. It's a nice touch if I do say so myself. Hey, Birdie, I'm gonna need you to give me my phone back. It's expensive and it was a gift, so... Alright, just give it back, yeah? Wait, how's he gonna write the review if he doesn't have his phone? Deliciously flustered, Mikhail edges closer to the seagull, trying not to scare it back into the skies with the phone in tow. Please? The seagull blinks at him with bored indifference. So just give it back to me. He lunges towards the seabird like a complete idiot. Finally compelled to move, the bird immediately drops the phone and rockets into the air. And in the process, its clawed web feet tear through the fragile paint and metal on the car roof, leaving a permanent deep scar on the surface. That's brutal. I'm standing behind him like, oh, that was crazy. World star. Mikhail rushes forward and falls onto the car in misery, like a man whose soul has been crushed. Bianca, my darling, no! Oh god, father's gonna kill me. Bring, bring. With timing so impeccable, I'm almost convinced I'd somehow cast a second spell. Mikhail's phone explosively starts to ring. Upon seeing the caller ID, the blood drains from his face. Father, it's good to hear from you. No, I'm fine. You're back from Hawaii. Awesome. Yeah, of course I can, but, Father, about the car you bought me, well, it's a funny story. Having completely forgotten me, Mikhail woefully shuffles away out of earshot to take the phone call. That wasn't my fault, right? Nah, an accident. Not vandalism, just an accident. Nothing to worry about. And so, mostly smug, yet ever so slightly regretting my influence on this turn of events, I take the opportunity to back away through the cafe door, swinging the sign to open along the way. The minutes and then tens of minutes painfully tick by. Not a single potential customer steps inside or even hazards a peek through the windows. I start by leaning over the counter, head in palms, alternating between watching the clock hands and the bell above the door. But I quickly get bored and my twitchy hands tap the counter, searching for something to do. Watch freaking the internet. Mikhail's business card is nearby, exactly where I'd thrown it earlier, so I retrieve it and twirl it around absentmindedly. Let's see how famous this guy really is. Whoa, seriously? A quick phone search pulls up hundreds of results. Blog posts with hits to the tens of thousands, sponsorship ties to the prominent worldwide cafe chain Moonbucks, a hefty follower base on social media, and even a narcissistic modeling portfolio of monochrome shirtless photographs. Just great, as if I don't have enough problems. What's with these pictures? He's dripping wet in half of them. Did someone turn on a hose or something? Awkward. So stupid. Now more irked than ever, I chuck my phone aside and go back to watching the clock. All this inactivity of doing nothing except stiffening my muscles is making me anxious. 30 minutes and not a whiff of anyone, not even one of the regulars. This can't be right. I recall my previous summers here when there were always non-magics and witch folk around, mingling, joking, shooting friendly banter back and forth with Baba. Back then, her cafe had never seemed wanting for patrons. Each day, a steady stream of satisfied customers would come and go at an even pace. It had never been busy, but it was comfortable. Sure, it's unlikely that there'd be a lot of witch folk making the trip right now. No doubt they're all up on that mountaintop with Baba, picking mugwort and betting on drunken duels. But for there to be no non-magics around? That's sus. I glance back at the clock, disappointed by what I see. It's far too late now to be trying to pluck customers out the street, but if I root around, there may be something useful laying somewhere. Determined to be productive in some capacity, I trawl through some of the lower kitchen cupboards, hoping to find something to use to attract new customers in the morning. Sensing activity, Hannibal slinks into the kitchen and curls around my leg. With a pointed meow, she leads me to a hatch under a rug. What? Below one of the open cupboards. Nice job, Hannibal. She purrs silkily and continues to circle around as I rummage through the contents of the hatch box. There isn't much of use, but I do stumble on an old signboard and advertising and some pastel chalk sticks. Wait, what? So it's like just at the bottom of the cupboard. I thought it was like underneath. I was like, ooh, like a hidden something. That would be cool. This is perfect. If I spruce it up a little, it'll do for a mini menu at the end of the street. Hannibal pokes her little head beneath my arm, demanding scritches for her hard work. I'm so distracted, I fail to hear the bell chiming at the door. There's no way. Good girl. Who's going to get some fishy wishies tonight? That's right, you are. Excuse me? Just a second, I'll be right with you. Clutching the bruised crown of my head that just exchanged blows with the cupboard door, I totter embarrassedly back onto my feet and heave myself over the counter. A radiant sight greets me. Oh, it's this chick. Fishy wishies? Sorry, I was talking to the cat. Oh, I remember you. Her eyes visibly sparkle and her cheeks pinken. You do? Of course, the lady from the beach, right? This is clearly your friend Kai, bro. The lady from the beach, right? I'm so sorry again for bumping into you back there. That's quite all right. So that's what they meant. Somehow she looks kind of sad. Did I say something wrong? An awkward silence settles over us. As it stretches on, she starts to comb a finger nervously through a loose curl of hair. Like he literally did a bunch of summoning ritual junk, and then this chick appears. It's not like she dyed her hair. She's a mermaid. She always probably had this color hair. An awkward silence settles over us. As it stretches on, she starts to comb a finger nervously through a loose curl of hair. Well, this is a fine way to start the evening, by making my only customer uncomfortable. Applying my kindest, most sincere smile, I gesture towards one of the seats at the counter. I can at least salvage the situation by acting professional. Where are my manners? You're here to order, right? What can I get you? We have a menu somewhere. What? I don't even have a menu ready after like a full day of prep. As I rummage around behind the counter, though her body language is shy, the woman's striking sandy eyes watch me intently. I can't help but feel a little nervous. Ah, here it is. I slide the menu across the counter, a lavish high-end tablet. Wait, I have a tablet? What the heck? Listing all our served items, including coffee blends, black, white, green teas, small meals, and desserts. So I cook as well. This tablet, much like the cafe itself, has a mystical secret up its sleeve. A coffee cup-shaped tab on the screen, enchanted to be invisible to non-magic customers, conceals a hidden second menu, one that displays some of Baba's oldest potions and other recipes designed for more magical patrons. That's dope. I admit I was surprised earlier to find such a thing myself. A paper menu was all that had existed before. Oh, okay. Well, he didn't... Okay. Got it. But the tablet looks brand new and screams impulse purchase. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The woman graciously takes the tablet from me, tucking a periwinkle curl behind one of her stylish earrings. She begins scrolling intuitively through the menu. She's so elegant and glamorous, and her eyelashes have this beautiful dewy quality to them, like black waves breaking on the beach at night. Okay, come on, bro. Like, you're getting all of these ocean vibes from this clearly mermaid. So strong was that association, I was curiously struck by a sense of familiarity, but then... You have nothing new on the menu, I take it? No? Sorry, you could say I'm somewhat of a regular here. I know this place and its owner very well. Oh, okay. I take it you know my grandmother is out of town, right? I do, but it's no trouble. I didn't come here today to see her. She tilts her head shyly. It's a devastating move, but I don't think she's doing it on purpose. Is she enjoying her vacation? Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm sure she's having a whale of a time. She pulls stunts like this far too often. I'm half convinced she dragged me back here just to rope me into running the place for a few weeks. That sounds like it exactly. The woman shuffles somewhat bashfully in her seat, lowering her eyes to her lap. If it brought you back to Linsdale, I'm glad she did. Just think of this as a salacious encounter. Wait, what? Did she mean to say serendipitous? Oh my gosh. With a gentle smile, she clears her throat and taps the screen with her nail. The highlighted drink is the salty kelp latte, a popular sea-based item from the secret menu. This one, if I may, it's my usual order. Yeah, cool. I'm on it. I flash her a knowing smile before stepping over to the kitchen area to prepare her order. As I lay my hands on the glass bottle of kelp leaves, a spark of inspiration hits me, and so I mean, it's a magic drink. Why wouldn't I prepare it with magic? With nobody else here, why be ordinary when I can afford to be a little flamboyant? With a snap of my fingers and a series of illuminated shapes traced in the air, the ingredients heed my call and begin to dance around me in a flourish. A dash of seawater, a pinch of sugar, star of the show, the kelp. The kelp blades weave their way through the air until they collide and pirouette, crushing themselves into a fine powder. That's cool. It falls like emerald snow into the basin of a china cup that dances its way into the woman's hands. Wow, it's so... yeah, pretty cool. Magic show's not finished yet. Last to arrive is the steamed milk, unfurling itself from a nearby jug like a porcelain ribbon. It winds its way into the cup, slowly mixing with the other ingredients. As the last drop falls, I bring my palms forward to bless the drink with one final drop of something special, a pinch of magic. Okay. Now for the finishing touch, could you tell me your name? She looks agitated, as if she has particular trouble answering the question. It's, Kiana. All right. Wait, I'm the dumbest person ever. All right, sit tight, Kiana. I reach across the counter for a thin nozzle filled with caramel and in small, delicate letters, write her name across the milk foam. There we have it. Bon appetit. As she puts the drink to her lips, the warm steam brings a soft flush to her cheeks. A small, content sigh escapes her as she returns the cup to the saucer. So, my salty kelp latte, does it meet the mermaid's approval? Wait, so I do know she's a mermaid. It's glumptious. Glad to hear it, but I'm pretty sure you mean scrumptious. Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. Human language is so difficult. I've been studying so much, but I still mess up all the time. Her whole face breaks out in a fierce flush. The quiet elegance I'd seen in her earlier completely peeled away. Nothing could have prepared me for this. It's like her demeanor has done a complete 180. I thought she was demure, but I guess she's just shy about making mistakes. Either way, it's absolutely adorable. Don't apologize, it's cute. The way you mix up your words, it reminds me of... Okay, oh my gosh. Why did it take... Oh, okay, it took me so long to figure this junk out. What the heck? No way. Kia? And so I've been visiting the cafe ever since my Brinling ended. I suppose I look quite different now, don't I? That's quite the understatement. I didn't recognize you at all. Okay, what? An hour later, Kia and I are sitting together, lattes in hand at the counter. Wait, so... What? Rich dude didn't get coffee at all? That doesn't make any sense. He literally drove 2 hours to get here. An hour later, Kia and I are sitting together, lattes in hand at the counter. We've been talking so animatedly, I barely think either of us have paused for breath. But now, I recognize her familiar shyness and adorable mannerisms, but I have to admit, seeing her adult human form for the first time is still throwing me for a loop. Perfectly understandable when I consider she still looked like a child 3 years ago. That's weird. The changes to her face, in particular, are profound but not unexpected. After all, I know very well that mer people experience growth very differently from humans. Okay, sure. A mer person's childhood, their Brinling period, would last from the time they hatched until they reached a normal age of human adolescence. Throughout the Brinling, mer children would barely appear to age at all, maintaining a childlike appearance for years and years. And then at the Brinling's end, what awaited them was a highly accelerated transformation into an adult body and the ability to adopt a human form. Oh. I needed the lore. I didn't know. After I met Kia, because we couldn't really communicate at first, I remember wanting to learn more about her kind. I found out about the Brinling and changed through one of Baba's old books. And as I also recall, I had to climb up her bookcase like a monkey to get it and slipped on the way up. Kia cried for hours when I turned up at the beach covered in bruises. When did your Brinling end? When I was about 17, it was about a year and 3 months after you left. So, okay, so I graduated high school. She might be older than me, right? Not that I was counting. When she catches me smiling, Kia turns away and scrambles for her drink. It's the cutest thing, but I'm suddenly reminded of something else. Wait, earlier, didn't you say your name was Kiana? After you didn't seem to recognize me at the beach, I was a little embarrassed. She sighs heavily, resting her hand over her heart. And even though I came to the cafe just to see you again, I couldn't bring myself to say anything. But Kiana is the land name I chose for myself, so I wasn't exactly lying to you. I just had trouble pronouncing it when we were children. Okay. I do use it around Linsdale. My family in the ocean still use my sea name, of course. I probably shouldn't pry into that. Mermaid sea names are private, intimate things after all. I guess I should be careful not to call her Kia too much around town though either. Wait, why? That's weird. nicknames. Who cares? With that nagging question out of the way, I loop the conversation back around to what really matters. How was it? Your change, I mean. Oh, it was better than expected. The growing pains were bad for a while, but compared to the others who experienced it at the same time, my change was quick. She takes the last few sips of latte, then lays the empty cup down and fingers it pensively. I'm just happy that my outside finally matches who I am inside. When we used to play on the beach together, we couldn't go far because I assumed she didn't have legs. I chuckle as I head back to the kitchen counter to wash our cups and saucers. No legs? Right. Ha, nailed it. You were growing up, and in my mind, I was growing up with you, but physically, for me, nothing was changing, and every year it felt like you were getting further and further away, and there was nothing I could do about it. Oh, yeah, that does... Yeah, okay. We used to draw so many shapes in the sand, all the things I wanted to do, all those places I wanted to visit, but because of me, we couldn't do any of it. Her eyes glaze over. She suddenly looks quite dejected. Not wanting to watch her beat herself up, I take her hand in mine. We can now, right? Exactly. No more hiding in the rock pools or covering up her fins with a blanket I brought from the cafe. We could stray as far from the beach as we like now, go anywhere we want. Cool. Now that you have your human form, the world is your oyster. You just let me know what you want to do and we'll do it. Except I've decided to run a cafe for some reason. It works like a charm. Kiana's sandy eyes light up and she leans across the counter brimming with excitement. Okay. Oh, but with your grandmother gone, you'll be working here full time, won't you? Until then, or then until we can do something, I'll just stop by every day to see you. Okay. I shrug my shoulders, gesturing towards the empty room in an exaggerated way. Thanks. I'd appreciate the company in more ways than one. As you can see, this place isn't exactly hopping. Without a regular or two, quite honestly, I might struggle to make ends meet this summer. And based on today, I'll take just about any customer I can get. Anyone but that vain fop. The more I remember his smug face, the crabbier I get. It's at the point when I realize that I'm not so much drying the cups as grinding the tea towel into them that jingle jingle. The bell at the door rings for a second time. Welcome. Take a seat and I'll be with you. Aw, dang it, it's this guy. Mikhail strides inside, looking the interior over with both hands shoved into his jean pockets with a slight furrowed brow. He's looking decidedly less cool and collected than this afternoon, though it's obvious he's trying his best to mask it. Nice place you have here. The drafty cracks in the walls are a nice feature. He's not cute at all. Ugh. Bleh. My jaw joints creak like unoiled metal as I force a smile. Linsdale's tourism prides itself on the town's invigorating beachy sea breeze. Why deprive our customers just because they're indoors? Yeah, that's funny. Cute. Very cute. Sensing Kiana's discomfort, I adjust her at the counter seats with an audible huff. Sit down if you're here to order. You are here to order? My cat wanted to leave the room, and then when I let her out of the room, it seemed like she wanted to come back into the room, and I was like, well, figure it out. I left her out, though. Mikhail slides into the seat directly beside Kiana. He beams obnoxiously as he pulls out his phone. I don't need a menu, bro. Just serve me your best attempt at coffee. You gonna pay for it? Please, of course I will. I'm not trying to put you out of business. Though I retreat to the back of the kitchen to begin scooping and grinding the coffee beans, I keep one watchful eye on Mikhail at all times. Thankfully, though his gaze is still roaming all over the interior, he isn't trying to snap pictures. It's obvious he's searching for something, a juicy tidbit, a draw for a story, and so, after his eyes complete their rounds of the decor, they naturally come to fall on his neighbor. Are you a regular here? Yes, I come here most every week. His eyes widen in genuine surprise. Really? What's your usual order? If it's that good, maybe I should have ordered that too. She flutters her eyes to me, begging for assistance, but I'm way ahead of her. I take 3 strides back to the counter in a heartbeat and step in. She's a special customer. Her order's not on the menu, and it's a acquired local taste. I doubt you'd like it. Gotta admit, though, I'm sorely tempted to put seawater in his coffee for the heck of it. Must resist. That's a shame. You'll have to let me in on the secret of that drink sometime. Miss Ever Sweet and Polite, Kiana holds out her hand to introduce herself. Kiana's fine, and I'm afraid I don't know much about the recipe or coffee for that matter. Just as I become concerned that Mikhail might be about to defile Kiana's hands with a kiss, another one of those pretentious business cards appears in his hand, and he drops it into hers. Enchanté, I'm Mikhail, and I just happen to be an expert on coffee. I'm a cafe blogger. It's pronounced cuisine, Kiana. It means food. Duh. I turn to Mikhail and scramble for a cover-up. She's not from around here. But her accent? He doesn't look convinced at all, but thankfully, Kiana's pure-hearted curiosity comes to the rescue. You write about food? Then you're here to write about coffee curiosities? Yep, that's the intention. No doubt you've heard of my... Kiana has already stopped listening. Heart, this is perfect. Now you won't have to worry about finding customers. Once he tastes your coffee, he's sure to love it. And if you write something good, people will come from all over Linsdale. Linsdale already knows the place exists. I don't need Linsdale people. Kiana, my sweet summer child, your innocence is wasted on him. He's not that kind of blogger. As I slowly turn the coffee grinder, I give Mikhail a disapproving side eye, and he shifts in his seat. The twitchy guy sitting next to you only visits coffee shops he expects to be bad. His blog is just a collection of hatchet jobs designed to be shocking and to tank any business he writes about. He's only here because he thinks my coffee is going to taste so undeniably terrible, it'll make for a juicy article. With one last yank, I grind the last of the coffee beans into dust. Or have I missed anything? Mikhail practically rolls his eyes into the next century. Hey now, you make it sound like I'm the enemy here. Ask my darling readers and they'll tell you, the only 2 things I'm guilty of in this business are being criminally handsome and honest. And the coffee they served at all those cafes just happened to be honestly awful. So just think of it this way. This is your perfectly fair chance to impress me. Not that you will. I've savored all the finest blends the world has to offer, but you're welcome to try. It seems to take Kiana a few moments to process all this information. I guess she still isn't all too knowledgeable about this side of human society yet, but once it does click into place, she looks crushed. How could you do something like that to hardworking people? That's so despicable. Oh, jeez. I'm happy she has my back, but Kiana is just wasting her breath. Besides, this coffee critic just unwittingly challenged a witch. I'm not the one who's about to be eaten alive. Yes, let the coffee kill him, but don't kill people over coffee. It's alright, Kiana. He has the right to do what he likes, and so do I. All I had to do is prove him wrong. Go ahead. With a single finger, I slide a cup across the counter. In one fluid motion, it stops just shy of Mikhail's hand, taunting him like a gauntlet being laid down in declaration of war. It emits a powerful, bitter aroma so tantalizing that it clings to the air and doesn't let go. A mouth-watering aroma no person could resist. The secret house blend, bruh. with a little pinch of something special mixed in. I sneak Kiana a mischievous wink, and she understands my meaning implicitly. I don't know if she does. She might think it's seawater. Drink up, you won't be disappointed. What's the matter? You should drink it before it gets cold. I won't let you use the excuse that it was bad simply because you ruined its flavor by letting it sit too long. Brimming with devilry, I decide to push him a little harder. As the expert here, you wouldn't make that mistake, would you? What? That seems weird. Watching him squirm and tug at the collar of his jacket, I realize I'm enjoying myself far too much. Still, I don't take my eyes off him. I stare him down until he finally gives in, puts the cup to his lips, and... all that bravado, and it's mediocre after all. But he takes another sip. Exactly, it's completely, and another, completely, and another, and another, and another. He drinks and drinks until the veneer rips away, and he finally throws his head back, shamelessly chugging the hot liquid until he has lapped up every drop, and the bottom of the cup is all that remains. What? Hunching over, he slams the cup down on the counter and stares at it in dumb disbelief. He's shaken and a little breathless, and there's something clouded about his expression. Okay, this is such like an anime scene or whatever where they're like, gulp, 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 and then they slam the cup and they're like, ah! So anime. Delicious. That's all he says. It's 9 p.m. Closing time draws near on this, my first day of running the cafe. As I finish scribbling down orders onto a pad of receipt paper, I rip the page out and hand it over. Man, reading all this is burning me. So, 3 secret blends, 1 small, 2 grandes. That'll be 7 gold. Apparently we run gold here. He's been scowling like this ever since he finished his first cup. Truthfully, he looks more mystified than anything else. After the first cup, he sat shell-shocked for several minutes, then sprung up and demanded 2 more of the same drink in quick succession. When they were ready, Kiana and I had huddled together, watching him discreetly over the tops of our own lattes. He never took more than 1 small sip at a time, crossing his arms and then quietly ruminating over the taste before going back for another sip. We lost count of how many times he furrowed his brow, how many pictures he took, or how many notes he typed into his phone. Oh, he does still have it. Okay, good. He's got his phone and everything. Good. All right, the seagull didn't leave with it. Right. After half an hour, I thought he'd finally admitted defeat, but... Mikhail, 7 gold? Right now, Mikhail is clutching onto his gold, pouting comically. He looks like a child who doesn't want to give up his favorite marbles unless his parent agrees to trade him a cookie. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost feel sorry for him. No matter how hard he racks his brain, he's never going to figure out the secret. Wait, why do I feel more guilty for cheating at coffee than I did wrecking his car? So just the magic is making him want it or whatever? Here's your change. So apparently he gave like 10 gold or something. Tell me how. It's all finally too much for his pride, and he explodes, slamming his hand down on the counter. How is your coffee that good? This place has terrible reviews everywhere. It's a dead spot online. There's no way coffee could be this good. Wait, it has terrible reviews? When he sees that I have no intention of answering him, Mikhail clasps his head, defeated, and sighs. He's still pouting like a little kid. Tomorrow, dude. I'll be back tomorrow to make absolutely sure it wasn't a fluke. I'm not writing my review until I know you're not cheating. So bring your A game. Well, okay, so he knows I'm cheating. It's magic, bro. He concedes and stomps away to gather up his phone, and as he moves out of earshot, a very apologetic-looking Kiana takes his place. She leans in and whispers in my ear, "Is he going to be alright? He looks kind of upset." He'll get over it, and I have a feeling he might turn out to be quite useful. I'm pretty sure it has bad reviews because Baba doesn't want people to show up, right? It's for magic people. As I'd done for Mikhail, I write out her receipt and pass it on. Here you go. How are the lattes? Not salty enough? She puts her hand to her face, cheeks pink with contentedness. Not at all. They were perfect. Even more so than your grandmother's. Your kelp lattes leave me feeling completely refreshed. Being out of the sea for so long must surely be tough. Sure must be tough. Anytime you need a pick-me-up, you know where I am. Just as Mikhail is making his way back, Kiana puts her hand into her purse, fishing around for gold. She's fumbling a little like she's having trouble. Maybe she doesn't know how human currency works yet. She buys junk all the time, of course she does. But before I can cover her, Mikhail steps forward, trying to act chivalrous. No need to be flustered. I've more than enough for the both of us. It's fine, I think. Here, is this enough? She tips out the entire contents of her purse onto the table. A whopping shiny mountain of gold. Individual coins spill off the counter onto the floor. Kiana, it's 8 gold, not 800 gold. I'm sure she knows. She's paid for her drink every week. Come on. She turns to Mikhail with the sweetest innocent smile. Would you like me to pay for yours too, Mr. Mikhail? Oh man, that's so funny. Mumbling something about how he had already paid, Mikhail picks up his jaw off the ground and quickly sees himself out. Did I say something wrong? No, you didn't. You're good. I paused, thinking back to what Mikhail had let slip earlier. Kiana, this cafe, does it have a bad reputation? We didn't get the answer. What? Late into the night, I'm staring absentmindedly into Baba's crystal ball with my head on the table, a fuzzy blanket around my shoulders, Hannibal in my lap. Baba's rabbit-shaped letter is still hopping about on the desk. Oh, I thought it unraveled itself. Deftly dodging all of Hannibal's impish paw swipes. All around us, the dustpan and broom go about their nighttime cleaning. Okay. Sweep. I still can't stop thinking about it. Terrible reviews. Kiana didn't seem to know anything about it, but then again, I doubt she'd pay much attention to something like that. No reason not to just find out myself once and for all. Obviously, I should have looked it up immediately. I slipped my phone from my pocket, punched in a few keywords, and hit enter. Sure enough, it turns up a dozen results, none of them good. About this, at least, it turns out Mikhail hadn't been exaggerating after all. Dismal star ratings, mentions of the crummy decor, photographic evidence of bad service. There's even one that looks like a secret shot taken from under someone's armpit. No way, Bob is just plain asleep in this one, at the counter, not even trying to hide it. All of the public reviews at least seem to have been written from the viewpoint of outsiders, but that doesn't comfort me much. It only means that the Linsdale residents still care enough about Baba as a friend not to out her online. All these ratings go back 3 years. Oh, not so subtly back to the end of my last summer at Linsdale. Huh. Suddenly extremely irked all over again, I grab a pillow and hurl it at the general direction of the bookcase. Several old ledgers come tumbling and clatter to the ground. You're a powerful witch. You didn't want to run a cafe in the first place. Why didn't you just do anything else? This is exactly why Dad's worried about you. After screaming out some of my frustrations into the void, I haul myself over to the tatty pile of books and start gathering them up. Hannibal trots near, stepping all over the ledgers, then curls up on them for a snooze. She's about as helpful as a sixth toe. I don't know. Might provide more balance. What about you, huh? Didn't think to mention that tidbit, did you? The truth is, even if her heart had never really been in the cafe, I know exactly why Baba chose to stay in Linsdale. Once she'd laughed and told me it was because she could lie on the sand in a bikini drinking coconut juice every day, but really, it was because of all the shirtless surfers, wasn't it? Oh my gosh. I pick up the last of the ledgers, shaking Hannibal off the cover, but I stop when I realize it's this year's edition. Something in me holds back from returning it to the shelf before taking a peek inside. A feeling, more like a terrible witch's intuition, that Baba had one more bony skeleton in her closet waiting for me to discover it. Her escape, the bad reviews, the empty pantry, the shifty locals, even the brand new tablet, all clues were aligning to suggest one picture. So I thumb through the first few pages and my face grows ashen. I knew it. She's broke. Oh no. So now I have to fix this too? It's almost as if I can feel the skeleton of fate springing from the darkness of the proverbial closet as it put its hands around my neck, but that's not all. At my feet, the tiny paper rabbit bounds up, cruelly announcing by a cute tilt of the head that it has one more message for me. It levitates up and unfolds itself in the air, stopping at eye level. A space at the very bottom of the letter slowly stains with ink a secret postscript that had been hidden until this exact moment. Heart. PPS, that's right, I'm broke. Was there a PS in the first one? Don't know how that happened really. Be a dear and sort something out before I have to file for bankruptcy. Are you kidding me? I believe in you. Why would anyone ruin someone's life like this? You're gonna force this kid to do freaking golly. At the crack of dawn, the alarm goes off. My eyes snap open and I launch myself out of bed, almost burying a sleeping Hannibal in the duvet as I shake off. After a brisk run on the spot, I slap my face a few times. Okay, well, at least it's the face this time. Until I'm absolutely fully awake and ready to deal with this nightmarish situation. Alright, action plan for today. Step 1, get dressed. So, this is the first shot where the characters are in the light. But like, they didn't have to be dark in the other scene. I get it, like it's dark in the cafe or it's dark outside or whatever, but come on. It looks better like this. I tear the wardrobe door open, throwing whatever I touch onto my body. I touch first onto my body. Being fashion conscious isn't going to make a difference today. Step 2, don't think about how much pain you're going to inflict on Baba when she shows her face. No plotting, no curses, no hexes, nothing. Today is about customers, cash, and coffee. Nothing else, but mostly cash. Oh, this is a window, I just realized. I leave the bedroom door behind and hurry down the corridor towards the kitchen, snapping life into the closed curtains and air conditioner with my fingers as I go. Oh. Cool air and sunlight flood the room just as I step outside to flip the sign. With the sign set to open, I pause briefly to place a kind hand on the warm cafe wall and take in the crisp, briny morning. Good Good morning, cafe, or I don't know why I keep saying that. Coffee curiosities, it's a beautiful day. Step 3, save this place, save my home. Oh God, Mikhail's here. Tell me, because I'm dying to know, did the bricks ever talk back? I'm getting tired of reading this. I turn about to see him grinning mischievously, and clearly in a better mood than I had expected today. The bare skin peeking out above his t-shirt is already glistening a little from the tropical morning heat, so it's apparently freaking hot here all the time. You look, don't say cute, don't say cute, don't say cute. Sweaty. Do you like sweaty? Whoa, buddy. Hey, come on. Come on. You're here to ruin my business. He throws his head back, laughing at my reaction before taking a few steps closer. I'm just teasing mostly. Listen, I did some thinking last night over in the very subpar hotel I stayed in. My car's in for repairs, so it looks like I'll be stuck here for a while, you see. I'm not here for a fight. As long as I'm here, I will take another cup of that special house blend of yours every day for research purposes only. The image of the dusty old pile of ledgers in Baba's secret room flashes up in my mind. The red ink scrawled across their pages, the zeros backing every number. Suddenly, I'm feeling very amenable to keeping Mikhail around as much as possible. You'll never figure out the recipe for that blend. But you spend 20 gold a day at least for as long as you're here, and maybe I'll agree to let you in on the secret. There's no way. I don't think you're allowed to be like, hey, magic. It was magic, bro. Come in then, you're darkening my doorstep. He actually laughs a little at that. Charming. Don't I even get a hello? I reserve hospitality for customers I like. So, okay, so Kianis has multiple lattes. It sounds like at least 2, maybe 3. Spends 7 gold, right? He bought, what, 5 drinks? And didn't he have to spend, I don't know, 10 gold or something like that? I have no idea exactly. How's he going to spend 20 gold a day? Isn't that a lot of coffee? At the end of his second grande-sized cup... Why would grande be this? Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. Mikhail composes himself, then pleats his fingers together and rests his arms on the counter. It's passable. Wouldn't kill you to exercise humility for 2 seconds and just admit it's the best coffee you've ever tasted. Now that the shock of the first dozen sips and the feeling of being put on his backside is worn off, it seems Mikhail's able to at least pretend to be critical of the taste. I suppose there's something to be said for the magic gradually losing its potency the more it's ingested. Nothing I can do about that. Enlighten me. What's up? Mikhail tilts his chin towards the small signboard and chalk sticks I'd found yesterday inside the hatch box, which are now lying on the countertop, waiting to be transformed into an advertising masterpiece. Why? Why would this guy care? Unless Mikhail's here just for me. I guess that makes sense. Coffee Curiosities is scrawled across the top in a multicolored, chunky block letters, along with a cascading list of some of the more attractive items on the menu. I wrote the wording late last night, but the sign's still most definitely missing some much-needed pizzazz. It's step 1 of my grand marketing master plan. Okay. That's your best attempt at marketing? I bet your first idea was a train wreck. How about you let the clear expert here give you some tips, and in return, you give me that recipe? How about no? Just as he's opening his mouth again, the bell at the front door jingles, cutting Mikhail's needling short. Moments later, Kiana shyly peers inside. Yo, what's up? Good morning. Ah, and Mr. Mikhail, good morning to you too. Kiana takes a seat beside Mikhail, and while I start to mix her up a kelp latte, she spots the signboard and pastel chalks lying on the side. Her eyes immediately light up. Oh, you're making a cuisine menu board? Cuisine menu board, Kiana, come on. Yes, I'm drawing some teacups or cute animals, or some of them, and it'll be ready to go outside. Can I help with the pictures? Sure, knock yourself out. We know you suck at drawing. Her drawings must have improved at least a little bit. That's a pretty lousy interpretation of a penguin. Penguin? No, that's a tuna in a top hat. Okay, her drawings suck. Alright, now that's definitely a giraffe, right? It's an oarfish. What the heck? A pelican? This one's a seahorse. At least they're all sea-themed? By now the board is so smudged with chalk residue there's nothing to be done but erase everything and start over. I quickly put a hand on Kiana's saggy shoulder before she could do any more good-intentioned damage. Don't worry, Kiana. If you want to help with marketing, can you help me? Or you can help me with something else. Oh my gosh. I'm glad her drawings still suck. I'm gonna pause this here. It does feel like there are romances starting, but it's mostly like flirting or whatever, right? It feels like it's gonna take a long time to get to the romance section, I guess, or the like dating or whatever. And I didn't expect to read this much, honestly. I don't know why, because it's like a visual novel or whatever. I think it's well written though. It feels like a book. A picture book. Which is what a visual novel is, right? If you want to know more about Mikhail or Kiana, play it yourself, it's free. And you could just skip through all this stuff if you wanted to. So yeah, I'm going to go feed my cats and my doggo, but that's why my cats were all up on me. I will see you later. Thanks for chilling. Another dating sim again tomorrow, obviously. Have a wonderful whatever. Goodbye.
Have hearts. Have hearts. Have hearts. Have hearts.